a basic how to get started with WordPress once you have your site made. What we'll be covering in this video are a few of the essentials that every site will have, and that is logging in, managing, creating, editing users, making posts or deleting posts, editing existing posts, managing your pages, managing plugins, and then your menus as well. So to get started, you'll see I have creativezach.com pulled up. We'll be using this as an example. This is just my personal portfolio website. So to get started, what you'll do is come to your domain or your website, and up here in the bar after the top level domain, so whatever this ending is, .com, it could be .us, .net, .org, whatever that is, you're going to put / and then wp-admin. Sometimes it will work if you just do admin, but that is depending on your site. It's safer to just put wp-admin. Now, if you have a login page or feature already on your site, more likely than not, you can log in with your administrator credentials through that portal. If not, this is a good way. Sometimes this will forward to that login page. Most of the times, though, if you don't have a login feature on your website, it will come to this classic WordPress login portal. I'm going to put my login credentials in here. So it could be username or email address, and then your password. I'm going to go ahead and click login. If you lost your password, there is a link there to reset your password. When you do get logged in, you'll see this is your dashboard. You'll have notifications up here of things going on with plugins. You'll see I have an error on one of my plugins. It is my Instagram feed plugin, and it's not connected. I've purposefully disconnected this so you can see what a notification will look like. Most of the time, it will have something that's not completely urgent and it can be ignored. It might just be an update or a notification of some changes that have happened on the plugin. I'm going to go ahead and click out of that and dismiss that as well. The rest of these things you'll see on here are just kind of updates with WordPress in general. WordPress actually has events and news you can read about, which is great. And depending on, again, what you have installed in your website, this might look differently. You might have analytics installed. You might have WooCommerce, in which case you're making sales. The dashboard is an overview of all of that. There's really nothing too important on here, though, that you need to know. But in this left-hand menu, once you're logged in as an administrator, towards the bottom, about 3/4 of the way down, you'll see users. And this is the first thing that we'll cover. This is where you'll come if you're logged in and you want to change your password after you're logged in, or if you want to create a new user or delete a user or manage an existing user. So what I'll do to demonstrate this is I'm going to actually create a new user by clicking on the Add New User. I'm going to add new user at bigredjelly.com, and here I'm going to give them a role. I can make them customer, subscriber, contributor, author, editor, administrator. And this will look differently depending on, again, what you have installed on your website, what version of WordPress you're running, etc. But the ideas are all the same. And then I can skip confirmation email. This will send them an email. If I leave that unchecked, it'll send them an email saying, hey, you're a user. So let's say I wanted to add them as an administrator. That's if they're an existing user up here. If I'm adding a new one, I'd put it down here, put their email in, put the role, and then add new user. If you are creating this on one of your sites, my site's set up a little bit differently, but there will be a field there to generate a password. You can generate a random password, and once that's generated, you can delete that and make your own, which is kind of cool. Going back to the users, there's only one user on my site, and it's me. But if you want to edit, remove, view one of the users who are here, you just hover over it, and remove might say delete. And that is how you can either edit an existing user or remove one, delete one, whatever. So if I click on edit on me, you'll see it pulls up all of my personal options. So my color scheme, the visual editor, all of this you don't need to worry about, except for about halfway down, there's the account management section, which is new password. If I click on this, it will generate a new password. So that's my new random password. Don't try logging in. It'll be changed by the time you guys see this video. But that'll be the new password for me. I can change this to have it be a new password. It will tell you if it's weak, very weak, or whatever. Again, that's not going to be my password either. Sessions, log out of everywhere else. If you think somebody else is logged in, or if you forgot to log out somewhere else, you can do that there. And the most important thing to remember when making changes throughout the site, whether users, pages, or posts, is scroll to either the bottom, or on the pages and posts, it'll be in the upper right-hand corner. But this big blue button that says Update Profile, go ahead and click that, and it will update your changes. If you don't do that and you navigate away, then it will not save your changes and you'll have to do it again. So that's managing users. Next thing we'll cover is managing posts. So I'll click on this and you'll see I have a few example posts in here for us to use. So Websites 101, what do you need to know? For your existing posts, if you have a blog page, this is where you would manage those. Again, I can hover over them and I can edit, I can trash it, I can view it, I can duplicate it, etc. Those are all existing post options. If I want to make a new one, I'll click on this button up here, which is Add New, and you'll see it'll pull up this window. And then from here, it's really just plugging and chugging. For the title, I can put New Blog Post. For the body, this is the body of the paragraph. Here is where all your blog content will go. And this operates just the same as any other word processor, really. So I could put a subtitle in here. Oh, if I could spell, that would be nice. I can make that a heading 2, make it a little bit bolder. I can italicize this. I can make bullet points 1, 2, and 3. I can add media. So I can click on this. It will pull up your media library, or it will pull up upload files, in which case you can drag and drop from your desktop and put new files onto your media library. I'm going to add this one of the kids on their phone, insert into post, and then resize. There you go. And this one comes with my caption. I'm going to delete that. But there you go. So that's all the body of your blog post. The other thing you'll need to, or two things you need to do before you publish your website, is you need to add a featured image. This is telling your website what image to display when you share that link to social media, when you share it in a text message or any other messenger, also on the front end of your website. So this is an essential part of your blog post. So I'm going to click on Set Featured Image. Again, pulls up my media library. If you want to upload new files, click on Upload Files, and you can select them like this, or drag and drop from your desktop. I'm going to click on the same image as before and Set Featured Image. Wait for that to load. Select a category. You can add new categories if you want. Return, and it will add a new category. I'm going to add it to both, and then click Publish. When you click Publish, it will show up on your website, on the front end of your website, wherever your blog page is. I'm going to go back to Posts, and I'm going to hover over this new blog post that I just created and trash it. And the same goes for editing any of these existing posts. So if I click on Websites 101, click on Edit, it will pull up the same window where I can make changes to whatever I want to on an existing post. So that's managing, creating new, editing posts. Next thing we'll do is pages. There's two ways to edit pages, and I'm going to go through them both. The first one is clicking on this menu item on the left here, where it says Pages. It will open up a list of all of your pages. So I'm going to click on my home page, which is designated as the front page. I'm going to click Edit, and you'll see something that looks like this. If you don't see this, then click on Page Builder, or it might say Backend Editor. If you click on that, then you'll have this. This is the best way to edit your page, even though it is a little bit complicated. We're not going to go through every single element of editing a page. That would take way too long. There are hundreds of different elements and thousands of different configurations for all of those. But what we will do is go over a few of the important ones. So first is wherever there is a plus symbol is where you can add new elements. So if I wanted to add a new image or a title here, I can click on that plus symbol, and it will have these elements I can add. So buttons, or a single image, or a divider. That's if you're making new pages, then you can make new elements. But for the majority of your needs, what you'll need to do is just edit existing elements. So what I'm going to do actually right now is I'm going to click on Preview Changes. Now you don't see this because it opens up in a new window. Oh, there it is. Yep. And you'll see, if I scroll down, I have this section where it's an image, and then a title, and some text, and a button. And I'm going to edit this just as a demonstration. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to try to find that section. Oh. And here we have a single image. Over here is a custom heading where it says, "It's just me, personal and professional, everything in my hobbies, everything from my hobbies to my passions." Let me double check that that's what I want to edit. Here it is. Yep, it's just me, personal and professional, everything from my hobbies to passions. I'm going to hover over that text block and click the pen tool. When you click on the pen tool for any element, it will open up a window to edit. And this will look very similar to the posts. And so I can add new content here. So I'm going to save changes. That's how you would edit a text. Same thing goes for a button. You can click on the button on the pen tool and you hover over it and change the link, so where it's going to, the text, so what it's saying, the colors, etc. That's all there. And there's tons of elements here. An image, if you hover over it, again, the green pen tool, I'll click on the green pen tool, and it will show me the image that is there, the alignment of that image, some other settings like animation, if you want to give it an animation, which mine does. The delay, this is in milliseconds, so 1,000 would be 1 second. If you want to link that image somewhere else, and that's about all you need to know for images. But as you can see, all of these elements have different settings. So it's just a matter of finding the page you want to edit, finding the element you want to edit, and then figuring out those fields and where you need to edit to make the changes that you want to make. So if I preview my changes, we'll see if we go down to that same section. It's just me, personal, professional, everything from hobbies to passions. I can add new content here. If you're happy with those changes that you've been making on your page, then you can come back to the editor and click Update. I'm not going to click Update because I don't want those changes to be reflected on my website. The other way of editing website or your pages is to come through the front end. And one way to do that, I'm going to exit out of here, is to click on this little home up here, this little home icon. Next to it, I have your site name. I'm going to click on this home. I'm going to leave my changes. And let's say I wanted to edit my design page. Instead of finding it in that list of pages, you can navigate to it and then use this top admin bar to edit the page. That is the second way of finding and editing pages. I find that's a little bit easier. So that's the other way of finding it. So that's editing, managing pages. If you want to delete a page, you can come in here and just like the posts, hover over them and trash them, preview them, duplicate them for whatever you want to do. Next thing we'll do is cover plugins. It's down here by users in the left-hand menu, about 3/4 of the way down. If you click on that, you'll see all of the active software on your website. So if you have, I have an anti-spam plugin on my website, a migration, optimize, classic editor, etc. This is where you can see and manage all those plugins, update them, delete them, whatever that is. And how you would add new ones is usually up here there is an add new. My site is a network site, so it looks a little bit different, but it will look like this. So add new. If I click on add new, I can either upload a plugin if you have a plugin that you want to upload, or you can search plugins, and I'm going to search for Flamingo and install and then activate. Flamingo, for those of you wondering, is just a plugin that saves all of your contact form submissions. And so now it's right here. I don't have any new submissions from since I've submitted this. So I have my address book, which are all of the users and anybody who has submitted a form, and my inbound messages, which is empty, of course. But that's managing plugins, and the same goes for deleting them. So I'm going to go back to that page. You would go down here and click on plugins. And if I hover over one, like cursor control, and I can either, if it's blue like this, it means it's activated. You can deactivate by clicking on deactivate. And once it's deactivated, you can delete them. I'm going to delete this one. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes. Now it's gone. I recommend, or we recommend, deleting any inactive or out-of-date plugins. If you have a question about which plugins are up-to-date or active, you can usually click on View More Details and it will let you know, or reach out to me personally and I will let you know. The final thing we'll go over is menus. So down here on the left-hand side, you'll see a item just above the users and plugins called Appearance. If you hover over that or click on it, it will open up a drop-down where you have menus. So if I click on menus, this will show all of the menus that I currently have. Right now I only have one menu, so I don't have the option to change it. If you do have more menus, I'll have a drop-down here. Mine's called Zach Top, and that is the top menu right here. And you'll see I have home, design, writing, resume, and fun. So if I come in here, home, design, graphic, web, writing, resume, and fun. Graphic and web don't show up on the front end because that is a drop-down, right? So if it's indented like this, that means that's a drop-down. And what you can do is add pages, you can add posts, you can link to somewhere else. So google.com, call it Google, add it to my menu. You can link to categories or even WooCommerce endpoints if you're an e-commerce store. I'm going to leave Google on here as a drop-down for the fun item. I'm going to head and click Save Menu, go back to the front end of my website, refresh. If I hover over fun, you'll see Google. If I click on this, sure enough, it takes me to google.com. So that's how you would manage an existing menu. If you want to create a new one, there's a little prompt right here that says create a new menu. Don't forget to save your changes. And I'm going to make a new menu. Create menu. Now I can add all these pages that I want. Let's just go like that. Make some of these drop downs. And then if I want to assign this as my top navigational menu, I have to click this. I'm not going to because I just made this and it doesn't make any sense. But if you want to replace your current menu with a new one, you'd click on this and have it checked. If you do have multiple menus, this is where you would toggle between them. So I'm going to go back to Zach Top, select Changes you made will not be saved. That's okay. I don't want them to be saved. And so here we are back at my main menu. I'm going to delete Google from my menu. To delete an item, you just hover over this arrow, click on it, and then click remove. And I'm going to save my changes. That covers all of the basics of your WordPress website. So again, what we covered was logging in, adding, managing users, creating, managing posts, creating and managing pages, plugins, and menus. That is a very brief overview of some of the essentials to a website. More videos are still to come where we cover some specific plugins, their functions, and how to manage those as well as building and creating pages, a more in-depth demonstration of how that works. Thank you for watching, and I hope this was useful. This is Zach with Big Red Jelly.